Procurement Act 2023 Knowledge Drop Series for Contracting Authorities, Greater Contract Governance. Part 5 of 6. In Part 5 of this Knowledge Drop series, we will cover the contract governance requirements under the Act, including contract modifications, performance, and termination. The Act's transparency ambition and notice publication requirements. The role that the Procurement Review Unit will play in improving compliance with the legal regime. Greater contract governance. The Procurement Act contains more detailed requirements for managing contracts than the previous regulations, which represents an opportunity to improve contract management practices across the public sector. For contracts procured under the Procurement Act, there will be requirements to publish contract change notices in most cases where a contract is amended. For contracts over £5 million in total value, set key performance indicators, as mentioned in Knowledge Drop 4, record and publish contract performance information. Additionally, for contracts over £5 million in total value, to publish a redacted copy of the modified contract, or of the contract modifications, alongside a contract change notice. To record and publish details about contract spend over £30,000. To publish a contract termination notice whenever a contract comes to an end, whether through natural expiry, completion of deliverables, or early termination. Therefore, if your role involves managing contracts or suppliers, it is important to work closely with your procurement or commercial team to ensure a comprehensive handover from the procurement to the contract delivery stage, and to ensure that the correct information is collated and published by the appropriate team. Wider commitments on prompt payment. To support prompt payment, 30-day payment terms will be passed down public sector supply chains so that they apply to subcontracts, and will apply by default regardless of whether they are written into a contract. Increased flexibility in making contract amendments. The Procurement Act provides new grounds under which contracts can be amended, including to cover scenarios such as urgency and the protection of life, and to address complex risks that genuinely cannot be mitigated against in advance of a contract. Amendment grounds from the previous regulations will be retained, but with changes that are designed to make processes clearer and more flexible when a contract modification is required. There are still strict rules about where contracts may be modified and when a new procurement will be required. To ensure that you can take advantage of the new grounds and to reduce the need for amendments, it's important to engage with your procurement or commercial teams at the earliest point in the procurement process to ensure that risks and requirements are captured into contracts from the planning stage. There are a number of transparency requirements during contract management, including the need for contract change notices to be published when contracts are modified, and contract termination notices when they end. Transparency ambition. Transparency has been embedded throughout the Procurement Act. Transparency requirements cover the whole procurement lifecycle, from planning through to procurement, contract implementation, and finalisation. A central digital platform has been developed as a place to house all data and information shared through these notices. The aim is to expand the types of information available to report on, improve the usability of the data, and allow the information to be easily accessed by all. Notices need to be published throughout the procurement lifecycle. Understanding this requirement to publish notices and preparing to share that information as the procurement is designed will ensure that the procurement process can be undertaken in a timely manner. Some exemptions to publication rules apply for certain contracting authorities and/or certain goods, services and works being procured. These are detailed in the relevant fact sheets. The expectation is that contracting authorities will continue to publish notices as they do currently, either via an e-procurement systems provider or directly to the central digital platform. The benefits of this new approach to transparency include ensuring the integrity of public procurement, delivering effective competition, identifying opportunities for collaboration, reinforcing the prevention of fraud and identifying poor contract performance, capturing data about the whole life of public contracts, including spend, supplier performance, modifications, and termination, providing easier access to data that will better inform procurement decision-making, including details of available framework agreements and dynamic markets in one single place, reducing the time spent looking for appropriate frameworks or undertaking procurements. Your suppliers will benefit from understanding your pipeline of planned procurement, as it will allow them to plan and focus their resources on the opportunities that are of most interest to them. Access to contract information and spend data will be available for everyone, allowing a greater understanding of how much is being spent in their local area and respond to citizens' inquiries quickly. Improved procurement oversight. The Procurement Review Unit has been set up to provide improved procurement oversight. The core objective of the Procurement Review Unit is to oversee contracting authority compliance with the Procurement Act and help realise the benefits intended from the transformation of public procurement legislation. The Procurement Review Unit will deliver 3 key services. It will encourage compliance with the Procurement Act by investigating non-compliance where it occurs across a number of contracting authorities or repeatedly in a single contracting authority. It will investigate suppliers for addition to the debarment list by considering whether they have met mandatory or discretionary grounds for exclusion. It will continue the work of the Public Procurement Review Service, which investigates poor procurement practice and cases of late payment in public sector supply chains. Recap. You should now understand the contract governance requirements under the Act, including contract modifications, performance, and termination. The Act's transparency ambition and notice publication requirements. The role that the Procurement Review Unit will play in improving compliance with the legal regime. In Part 6 of this Knowledge Drop series, we will cover the steps you can take to help prepare your organisation for these upcoming changes, how collaborative and joined-up working with your commercial and procurement teams can drive the benefits of the Procurement Act.
This material has been produced for the purpose of learning and development and does not constitute and should not be relied upon as legal advice. This material is accurate as at October 2023. Fact sheets for the following exemptions can be found on gov.uk. Concessions, light touch, defence and security, Northern Ireland, Wales, schools, utilities. End of animation.